What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get into this conversation. This story about Rick Ross, it triggered me because, one, as a small business owner myself, definitely not one that has the amount of wealth that Rick Ross does or the amount of business locations that he owns. It sickens me, and it's very embarrassing. But let's get into this story. This actually comes from the Sandra Rose blog, and I'm just going to read a little bit and then I'm going to share my thoughts. Rick Ross and his family members were fined over $114,000 for violating federal labor laws at his Mississippi Wingstop locations, and nearly 300 Wingstop employees complained that Ross and his family forced them to pay for their own uniforms, background checks, cash register shortages, and safety training. And so his family has to pay this over $114,000 in back wages, liquidated damages, and civil penalties.
I'm gonna take time to address something. When you run in a business, there will be mistakes. But as the biggest boss, you never make the same mistake twice. You see, accountability. Taking accountability is when you're the biggest. And remember this. Most successful people don't take stumbling as a setback, but actually a stepping stone to greater things. You heard me? Let's be. Toast to the hustlers.
All right, the video of him, oh my God. It's stupid because, one, you did not make a mistake. Making a mistake is not the same as you requiring your employees to pay for things out of their own pocket that you should be responsible for, especially cash register shortages. That is insane to me. I don't get the fact that he and his company were requiring the staff to pay for safety training. That alone is nuts that he was requiring that. But all of this stuff, it's stuff for his company. Background checks, they had to pay for themselves, pay for their own uniforms. Like, really? It just doesn't make any sense that he would call these things mistakes. It was intentional. It was intentional because this man is a multimillionaire. And we know that a lot of people who really do have a lot of money don't like to spend a lot of their own money if they don't have to, because that's what helps them to keep their wealth. They want to be able to have their money make more money. They don't really want to have to spend it. But for you to require employees that are making minimum wage or less, because actually the report said that with the requirements that he was having the staff do, it was actually having them at a place of making below minimum wage, which I believe in the state of Mississippi is $7.25 an hour. And we already know in 2022 that is not a lot of money per hour. Now, I don't understand even that, because with the amount of money that he makes, not just in the Wingstop business, but just overall, you couldn't at least, and $10 an hour is not even a lot of money either, but you couldn't at least start them at several dollars more per hour to start, and then you're requiring them to, if there's a cash register shortage, they have to pay for it out of their own pocket or lose their job, paying for their own background checks if they want to get the job. These jobs these days, like in my area, I've seen like McDonald's hiring people for like $20 an hour. So I don't get that at all. And for you to do this video, Rick Ross sitting at this grand piano with a bottle of champagne in the background and a bottle of liquor sitting on the top, and you're like cheers, and you have the music playing, you're wearing a Balmain Paris sweater, which is alone, you know, a huge name brand that is extremely expensive. And you're doing it from your mansion that he bought from former boxer Evander Holyfield. So it's crazy, but he owns over 24 Wingstop locations in the US alone. I don't get this. It doesn't surprise me though. I'm not even gonna lie. It really doesn't surprise me to hear about this coming out. But Rick Ross, you didn't make a mistake. This was intentional. And you got caught. You got busted. The people ratted you out. And now, you're being fined, and some of these people will get back wages and whatever. But to be honest with you, I don't even know how much money these people are going to get overall, because even with the labor department doing this, the fines will probably be more going towards the state government than it will be for the workers. So that's the part that even sucks even more about this situation, because these people, most of them, this isn't a career position for them. They don't intend on being there for a very long time. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is just a stepping stone or whatever. But myself, being someone who is a small business owner, I definitely understand setbacks and things that happen in business, but don't use that as an out or to make yourself look better, to do this little speech on Instagram and talk about when you're successful, you don't see setbacks as failures. I definitely agree with the statement, but in this situation, it does not apply. You were doing some underhanded shit and then you got caught, and now you're trying to just sweep it away like, no big deal. And I've seen people like that. It's a very narcissistic tactic. I don't know if you know of the internet cook. I'm not going to call him a chef. Darius Cooks, who now has the Darius Crooks name because of a lot of the scams and schemes that have been uncovered about him. But when he was doing that underhanded, illegal credit fixing business, and that got caught, and then that got shut down, he was fined over $100,000 by the state of Georgia. And he made a few little snide comments about it, like, I wrote the check, paid it, no big deal. You were doing something wrong. Like, don't act like, it's no big deal, because it was wrong. You got caught. Yeah, you may, just say, that's just a little bit of money to me, it's no big deal. That is extremely narcissistic and so pompous and egotistical. I can't stand stuff like that. But again, I'm not in a league like Rick Ross, not even trying to be. I have had multiple business locations. The most I've ever had is 4. I can't ever see myself having to have that many business locations. But I tell you one thing, if I did, you better damn believe I would be investing the money to make sure that the staff that I have working in my business locations are as happy as they could be, as much as I can do. And that's not paying them minimum wage and then having them to pay for training in the employee uniforms, and if there's a cash register shortage and all different kinds of crazy stuff like that, like, that's on your part as a business owner. It's the cost of business, and it's an investment. You get into business because you obviously see it as an investment, especially for someone like him that has multiple Wingstop locations. It's definitely an investment. He's not going into the Wingstop locations and putting on the uniforms and putting on an apron and getting in the kitchen and dunking the wings in the grease. No, you're not doing that. It would probably be cool to see him do it, but he's not doing that. We already know that this is just an investment for him. So make the right investments to have the right staff, have them properly trained. You pay for it. You pay for the uniforms. You're making sure that people want to work there when they are there. But when you have these people making less than minimum wage, it's just not going to bring up anything but resentment and piss people off. And that's why he had a lot of people that ratted him out. And that's pretty much how it goes. But anyway, you can let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.